Okay, so we're just finishing off the last few pieces for the truck now. So I've got 3 wheels there, they're already done. I've got the windscreen, which I managed to straighten out. Where I welded it up, it distorted a little bit. So that's all done, the Lykan's all cut, that's all in it. I've just got 3 more wheels to paint in the spray booth, and then we're just waiting for the tyres to come. I thought I actually had more rims than I did, but I actually found there was some damage in a couple of them. So yeah, in one of them, 2 of them, there's a buckle in the rim, so I haven't refinished them ones. But yeah, so they're painted silver, and then on the insides, they're painted black on the insides. But yeah, they've come out nice. They've got a nice black rim to go on it. That's why I've painted the insides black, to sort of match it up. So you've got the black bead lock on the front of it, and of course then you've got the black one on the inside of it. I just thought it might look a bit silver, a bit strange being silver on the inside and black on the outside. So that's why I've done that. So yeah, they've come out. So I've just got 3 more to do, and I'll show you what I'm doing with them. Okay, so the wheels all been sanded, all degreased, and then sanded all the way over. The problem I have with these, there's actually painted with a day glow paint, and the day glow paint really wants to come through. So the etch primer, I've put on 4 coats of etch primer. You don't normally have to put on this many, but I'm using this as like a barrier coat. So when I put the silver on, the silver stays on there and the green doesn't come through the silver. So this is one of the rims I was on about, which is damaged. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera, but in here, those there, that's where the rim's buckled and it's actually started to crack the spokes. So I haven't done them. So there's 2 wheels like that. So I've got this one here, got another one here and another one just over there to do. So I'm going to paint these silver, and then once they've dried, I'll paint the insides black. So they're all masked up. So main thing to do with these is to mask the inside flange there. I can actually get the paint off of this bit fairly easy, so the wheel nuts don't come loose. But yeah, you want to mask the back of where the wheel bolts to the hub. So yeah, so that's all done. Let's get some paint on. Okay, so when I've done the windscreen, so this is the template I've made. So this is made out of that Cardex I was on about. So it's just a really thin, really cheap, £3 for a 8x4 sheet of that. So I make it out of that first, and then you can mark round it and drill through it, and then you transfer it into the Lykan. Now, the Lykan at the moment is still got its protective cover on, but what I'm going to do now is see around the edge here. I'm actually going to paint a black line around it, so when it bolts in, you won't actually see the frame. I think it'll look a lot neater. So I'm just going to paint a black border around the outside of the Lykan, like you'd have on a normal car windscreen, because normally on my monster truck it fits actually into the body of it, so you don't notice it, but on this you will. So yeah, so I'm going to paint a black border, just like on a normal windscreen where they actually bond the windscreen in. So I'm going to paint just a black mark on the inside of it, and then that should look really cool. Okay, so the panel's all masked up now, so we've got the bare edge around there. Still left the protective cover on and just peeled it back and then just masked up to it. So all we've got to do now is just get some gloss black. It doesn't have to be gloss black, it could be matte black, because we're actually painting this side. So whatever side, we're going to be painting this side there. So when it looks on that side, it's going to be gloss black anyway, because it's shiny. So all we just got to do is just go over around the edge and just spray it around the edge, just like that, all the way around. Not going to video it, it's going to be really boring for you. So we just do that all the way around, put a nice coat of black paint, and then that's the border done. Okay, so there's the windscreen all fitted. So we painted that black line, as you can see, it looks a lot better. So yeah, one thing I didn't talk about on the video, originally I was going to have this bit unbolt here and unbolt here, and I changed my mind, because if you look how many bolts around the windscreen, you'd have had to take all those bolts out to get the windscreen out. So what I've done is it's only 8 bolts. So around the side of it, you got 2 holes there, 2 holes there. So that's 4 bolts for this side, and there's exactly the same on the other side. So instead of having to take 50 bolts out to take the windscreen out and to have this bit unbolt at the bottom, now you have to undo 8 bolts. So that's what one thing I noticed last night when I was looking back at the videos I was talking about when I was building this. I never explained why this bit changed. So yeah, so it just makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker to take this out so you can, when you want to work on the truck. Okay, so all waiting today for the 37-inch tyres to come in. I phoned Terry up to let him know they haven't come in yet, and he said, well, seeing you're not doing anything, like I'm not busy, can you make me a tyre rack? So I just cracked on with it, just had to get on with it. So yeah, this is what I made. Okay, so we can mount these so you can put 2 tyres on the back of the buggy, so you can carry all the spares with it. All I've got to do is got to finish a little bit of welding. I'm going to cap all these off. I've got to put some straps, some hoops on here now so you can put the ratchet straps on, and it's just well, most of it's welded, but lots of these bits I've still got to finish up welding all of this. So yeah, so come out quite neat. Just hope the 37-inch tyres should still fit in there. They just sit a little bit higher up on it, and we might have to just put another piece in the bottom for them. But yeah, I think that's come out really well. It looks really neat. Good way to carry some extra tyres. Okay, so the cage is all finished, what holds the tyres. So it's got the tie down strap points on it now. So it's got one there, one on either side. So you've got a strap that will go over the top of the tyre, and then you've got another strap that goes through the middle of the tyres to hold it on there. So that's all ready, so we can put that straight on the back of the truck. So the pieces we've been waiting for, tyres have turned up. Started putting them on the rims. It takes a while. I'm not going to video it because it takes, even in time lapse, because it's so many bolts to go up on it. And I want to do them up by hand. I don't want to do them up with my impact gun because they're not very big. I don't want, if I was doing them on my impact gun, I can't turn the pressure down on it and it'll snap the bolts off. But they look a lot better being silver than that funny day glow green they were. Yeah, so I've got one done, 5 more to do. Yeah, so I'm just going to crack on with this now. I'm not going to video it, as I said, because it takes absolute forever doing the bolts up. It's not too hard, it just takes ages. So I'm going to get all these built up, and then we can see about getting everything loaded up and get ready to take it up to Terry for him. Hi Shads, you come and have a look at all the wheels. Look, all the tyres are all mounted up. It takes forever. It works out about 50 minutes a wheel. The main thing is because of the bead locks. They just take so long to put on. You have to go around and then go around again and go around again. Each time you go around, you just tighten them up a little bit more. But yeah, so they're all done. Don't want to do them again in a hurry. My hands are really sore now. So, should we go home and get some food? Yeah, she likes the sound of that. So I'm going to drop Shadow off, and then I've got to go and make a delivery. Okay, today we're off to Hot Wheels Live up in Manchester. It's 4 o'clock in the morning because it's a 5-hour drive and we want to be there for 9 o'clock. But on the way, we got to drop this van full of stuff off to the NEC for Terry Grant. He's up there practicing this morning. Yeah, so he needs this straight away. So we're going to drop that up to him on the way, but let's get a move on to Manchester. Okay, so this is Dan Patrick's Samson truck with his son-in-law driving it. This body looks absolutely wicked. I love this. This is called Tiger Shark. Okay, so we're at the NEC and the Pro2 is finished. Have a look at this thing, it's turned out amazing. So this is testing at the NEC before the show. We wanted to see how the truck landed on the full-size ramp that we designed
and with a lot softer suspension. Flames you can see are just the brakes being applied, and they're really hot.
Okay, so we're at Autosport International 2020, and earlier on in one of my other videos I was talking about Terry's new cars. So this is the first new one, Jaguar XE. Quite unusual car. So it's V6, and they don't do these with a manual gearbox, but this one has got a manual gearbox. So yeah, so it's great for doing real good stunts, because you got that clutch for that instant control, slide it, yeah, and it looks pretty sweet as well. So you can have fun with three of your family in there as well. So also we got, you've probably seen it as well at Santa Pod, we've got Thrill Ride, the 2-seater dragster. So this is doing burnouts in the arena with the presenter in the back of it, with Emma Watts. So she's in the back, of course. Got the awesome looking truck that we built. So yeah, and that is doing some absolutely wicked jumps. Now I was talking about another car that we had, what Terry was bringing to the show, and it's pretty special. So it's a Lykan Hypersport. There's only 7 of these in the world, and this one is actually from the Fast and Furious movies. So yeah, it's had a lot of hard work in its life, but yeah, it's here at Autosport International, a Lykan Hypersport. Look at this. Doesn't that look stunning? It's actually really small. So I actually drive this in the show. So Emma Watts, one of the presenters, she drives it into the arena, and I actually have to take it back out again. And I'm not moving the seat, so I have to take the steering wheel off to get in and out of it. So it hasn't got the original interior in it, because this is a stunt one. So this, as I'm saying, it was used in the movies. I know on the internet at the moment there's a thing in America where they've actually got another one out the movie set. So, and they're actually going to put it into a road car. But this one actually runs and drives. The other one is just a body shell. They used to fly it through the air. So I'll see if I can find a link for it, and I'll put it in the description, or I might put a clip into it. But yeah, Lykan Hypersport. So yeah, this was in Fast and Furious 7. As I'm saying, it hasn't got a proper, it's got the stunt interior in it. Oh, it's quite dark in here. Yeah. Based on a Porsche, but that is wicked. Okay, so we're practicing for one of the stunts in the show. So I'm actually in the Aston Martin at the moment. The car is heavily modified. So just have a look at all the warning systems that come up on this dashboard. So because a lot of the mechanics on the car have been modified so it can do these awesome stunts.
During testing, we decided we wanted to add a bit more danger to the routine and decided to jump over some cars. So this is us testing before with a height barrier to simulate where the last car would be.
Okay, so in between each show we have to go around the truck. Now we're checking all the suspension components, all the wheels, all the axles, everything on the truck that connects what's going to have those big heavy impacts. So far, all we're having to do is adjust the suspension. So on the suspension on the truck, you've got two different parts. You've got compression and rebound. Okay, so on the back of the truck, so we got 3 adjustments for compression. So there's 1, 2, 3. So that's very similar to my monster truck. Rebound, we've got 1 there, and there's also another one, which you probably can't see. Just see the top of it there. So that's another one. That's another one round the back. So there's quite a bit of adjustment on this truck, and also we've got pneumatic bump stops as well, so when it does go through all its travel, so the sort of travel we were using on this truck on the landing, we're coming down to within about ½ an inch of the bottom, so we're using nearly all the travel. So this truck has got 19 inches of suspension on the back and 12 inches on the front, and we use all the suspension all the way through. So yeah, and we've done some absolutely amazing jumps to that this week. So getting this truck to fly wasn't easy, but we've done it. So we've actually jumped it 100 feet to a flat landing, and a little bit later on I'll show you how far that is from the ramp, because it actually left a mark in the arena. The chassis did catch the ground on that one, so we was right on the bump stops on the front, and it took a little mark out the concrete. But yeah, really pleased how the Pro2 truck's coming along. Want to refine it a little bit more yet, but no, really, really good. Okay, so we're at the show, and it's the last day. I haven't done any filming really, because we literally been so busy. So I thought, while we're walking, I've got my case, we just checked out the hotel. Let's have a look at some of the stands while there's nobody about, because it's still really early in the morning. So have a look at some of these amazing cars and other things that are here at the show. Quite a few rally cars. Next to a nice Ford Raptor. There's a little bit of absolutely everything here today. And also they got the performance car show, so it isn't just all the racing stuff, there's a performance car area as well. Okay, so this is one of my sponsors' town, and this is their British touring car. Looks absolutely amazing. Have a look at this. Okay, so these are some of the other vehicles that are in the show. So we got Brisker Formula 1, BDRC rally cars, so there's some on that side and some on this side. And let's flip the camera around and show you some of the other stuff. The Legend race cars. So this is the racing version of what Terry uses in his shows. And over here, I think these look absolutely spectacular. So we got some more than 3-wheelers. So this one is the Royal Navy. Look at the detail. So this one's Army with the machine gun on the top. And then of course, then we have the Air Force. And these things, they really do move. also, it's the first time I've seen one of these. This is one of the new Morgans. So it's got a 3-litre turbo engine in it. I think it's based on a B&W running gear, and these things are really fast. And of course then they got their caterers that they got from MSV, Motorsport Vision, the catering experience, so they've got a couple of them as well. Also my friend from Malta, Team Maximum Locker here, with all four of their cars with their new livery on. Looks very nice boys. And we got Luke Woodham's car, Monster Energy driver, along next to Bagsy's fire-breathing monster. This thing is super, and I didn't realise till yesterday all these parts on here is actually reflective. So when I was coming out in the big truck with all the spotlights on, this thing was absolutely white. It was amazing. And also what you can't notice, if I come in really close to it, you can see there's a different colour. That actually makes a Union Jack. If you shine a light onto it, the door has a Union Jack on it. That's some really nice little finishing touches. Okay, so the truck's been going really well. So I haven't had any issues with it, apart from when we first turned up at the show. Remember I said I had to drop some parts off up here? Well, one of the parts was a gearbox, and also we broke a diff before the show. So I had a lot of running around, so it's actually got my monster truck gearbox in the truck, and we had to get a special diff made for it. So it's got a 9-inch Ford housing, but it runs a 10-inch gear set in it, which is really hard to get hold of here in the UK, especially at very short notice. But we managed to find some guys who do some Ultra 4 racing, and they helped us out. So thanks Rob and your team, that was really appreciated. They came up to the show yesterday, had a look at the truck, yeah, they liked it. So, yeah, truck's all ready to go for the last and final day here at Autosport International 2020. Okay, so we're in the performance car show. Some very nice cars, also some very unusual cars here. Have a look at some of these. Some of these are absolutely spectacular. You don't see too many Teslas looking like that. Okay, so it's just before the show starts. I'm coming out the back of the arenas because I have to pick up some of the presenters' cars. Look how many people are in. So this is going to be the third show we've done. There's 5,000 people in this show, every single show. It's going really well. It's literally 2 minutes before the show starts. last Autosport finish. We're loading everything up now, so taking apart the two-wheeling ramp. Truck's on the transporter. Lykan's on the transporter. So that's Autosport 2020 in the books. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I think it was quite a long one because of the whole build up to this. But the truck, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. If you came to the show, thank you, and we'll see you on the next vlog.